Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're feeling calm, we're feeling cool, we're feeling collected. QJ8G Queasel. Dude, I gotta tell you, not an X, not an XL floor. How am I feeling? Oh my god, the stats are good right off the bat. Probably, in hindsight, maybe, you know, you don't want to use the sun to save half a spirit heart instead of one, or half a red heart instead of one full red heart, I should say. Yeah, unadvisable. Inadvisable? Dude, that's a pretty good pickup as well. 6 rate of fire, 3.56 damage, totally fine. Speed is, you know, it's okay. It's at a decent level. HP is good and renewable. But, I mean, yeah, very little to complain about right now. We also have Panic Power, aka Adrenaline. I don't actually know if it's any good for us right now, but it does contribute to Spun. And at the very least, without being needlessly reductive, I would rather have an item that could possibly turn into a good transformation than an item that is actively bad. Sometimes you can get those actively bad items. We're just going to focus on the fact that we got some, you know, real big positives working out for us right now. This is a good run. Starting to be a good run, at least. So, last run, I think I don't know if I'd say that we got saved, but we got pretty lucky to have our first D100 roll turn out amazing. I think we would have pulled it out regardless. Probably work on the phrasing there a little bit. I think we still would have succeeded in spite of, you know, some of the overly aggressive decisions made on that run, but I'm happy that in the end it kind of just worked out, you know, absent the need for anything more picky than that, and I'm happy to be back, and I got a good little Isaac mojo going, you know. Say it's like a groove, you know. You want to be, it's easier if your bike tire is in somebody else's wake than it is to forge your own trail. Now, you could also use that as a huge negative. That's why I don't like, I mean, I use idioms all the time. But, you know, there's two sides to every coin, you know. You could say, well, you know, to be in a trailblazer is hard work. It's always harder to make your own line than to follow somebody else's. Yeah, but then simultaneously work smart, not hard. But then, you know, simultaneously idle hands are the devil's playthings. But yeah, and, you know, simultaneously, Mark Twain said, never do today what you can put off until tomorrow. But then, very famous, you know, you get the idea. It's like, if you rely exclusively on idioms and Bartlett's A to Z quotes and stuff like that for your wisdom, you know, you're screwed. Because they counteract themselves at any given point. It's like, there's this book, I haven't read it, but I read, like, the free preview on Amazon because it was interesting to me. It was like not 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but it took like very famous writers and scientists and inventors and entrepreneurs, and then it questioned them about like what their day was like. You know, when do you get up? When do you go to bed? What times do you eat? And blah blah blah. And I guess the idea is that, oh no, that was dumb. I should have used a bomb. You know, we got enough to hang back, but hopefully we'll still beat the odds. The idea is that, you know, you'd gain some insight into, you know, the habits and mores of these, you know, conventionally successful people. You read the book, you realize, you know, there's some people out there, I don't remember the names specifically, but, you know, some people were like, yeah, I go to bed at 1 a.m. and I get up with the sunrise. I get 4.5 hours of sleep a night, and that's how I'm so productive and successful. And there'd be some people that were like, I get like 12 hours of sleep a night, and I wake up like a Hunter S. Thompson. Not necessarily a good example of how to live your life, but I remember. Oh, wait, what? Sure, absolutely. His passage was basically like, I wake up whenever I want, and then I go get drunk at lunch, and then, you know what, I'm wrong. Let's throw a key away there and then go to the shop and use our other key. Shouldn't have thrown the key away, but we were already there. And then I, like, come home and I write for, you know, an hour, and then I, you know, take some kind of probably illicit narcotic and, you know, go to sleep. Meanwhile, you know, Benjamin Franklin's out here going like, I get 2.5 hours of sleep a night. You know, it's different. Different people are wired different ways. You know, the wisdom that works for some people is not going to work for others, and vice versa. Probably. So we did not beat the odds, for the record. We did get a decent item. I'm actually uncomfortable going to the curse room, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I'm concerned. I think we need to make HP-minded decisions right now. But I'm still, like, very happy with where we stand. You know, we got 5 rate of fire, 5 damage, and unlimited bombs. I do, somebody tweeted me a couple days ago and was like, NL, you still underrate wait what? Whenever you get Butterbean, you should make an attempt to, you know, get unlimited bombs. They always act like the bombs are... And I'm not saying it's a bad item. I mean, obviously, particularly the earlier you get it, the better off it is. But not just for tinted rocks and stuff like that, but also offensively. Yeah, I mean, I'll use a bomb for 11 cents. We could wait as well, but the thing is, if you have unlimited bombs, why not use your normal bombs when it's prudent, because you still have unlimited. You know, you can't have it both ways, where you have infinite bombs, but also, like, you just subtracted 1 from infinity. Anyway, I'm not trying to be needlessly combative. Fair enough. I'm just saying, for the most part, I don't respect Butterbean at all. I respect Wait What. I don't think I underrate it, except that oftentimes I will not choose to try to turn every Butterbean into a Wait What. You know what I didn't talk about last episode? Along with, you know, being away on a ski trip this weekend, during our après ski, played several rounds of the Binding of Isaac 4 Souls, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that, you know, I've played some licensed board games in my day, and a lot of them, that was so dumb, very stupid of me, a lot of them are kind of glorified fan service. You know, if you're a fan of, you know, Fortnite, then maybe Fortnite Monopoly holds like a little bit of extra enjoyment for you because of the fact that, you know, instead of, you know, Pacific Boulevard, it's Tilted Towers. But, like, apart from that, at its fundamental core, it's still a cursed game, right? Thank you for the blessing and getting the deal with the devil here. We're going to skip it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And I wouldn't say that, like, I went into Four Souls thinking that it would be like that. Like, it would be like, you know, perfection, but for Isaac players. But the thought did cross my mind that maybe this is something that, you know, is going to be enjoyable for predominantly if you have some kind of investment in Isaac to begin with. Rather, I found myself greatly enjoying Four Souls independent of the fact that it's, you know, connected with Isaac. I actually... You know, we played 3 games of it. Each one is like an hour, hour and a half. Probably goes faster once you figure out the rules and, you know, what kind of combos and stuff you should be looking for. But actually, like, wanted to play more. And that's rare for me for board games in general. You know, oftentimes I play one round of a board game. It takes 90 minutes. I'm like, you know, I don't care if I won, lost, etc., etc. I'm ready to move on with my life. Didn't mean to place that. This time I was like, dude, I wish we made more time to play Four Souls. That game is really good. I wanted a key, but thank you nonetheless. Just like an actually, I would recommend that game. It's also very easy to learn, but I would recommend that game full stop. Like, it's not like I would recommend that game exclusively to fans of Isaac. It actually draws more from Magic. It's like, it's kind of like a lightweight Magic the Gathering filtered through Isaac. And that's actually a great compliment, because mechanically speaking, Magic the Gathering, I think, is one of the best, like, strategy games ever made. This just makes it faster, which is good if you're looking for quick replayability. And also, I mean, you know, the game itself is substantially cheaper, obviously. But yeah, I was impressed. Like, I went from people being like, you know, hey, NL, when are you going to play Four Souls on Tabletop Simulator? And I was like, I don't really know if board games work on the show, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, dude, we got to get a group together. Play Four Souls in the NLSS. We played with 4 people, and it worked really, really well. I don't know if it's better with less people or better with more, but that's my experience there. So, you know, I wouldn't pay lip service if it didn't deserve it. I was really impressed. And we didn't get sent it for free. We kickstarted it. You know, this isn't like a pay-for-play sort of situation, you know? That's our own hard-earned American dollars went into that Kickstarter. And I'm very pleased with the investment, to be honest. So I think now it kind of sounds like a promotion now, but I think they're doing like another Kickstarter for people that didn't pre-order. Basically, it's like Kickstarter's like the distribution platform for it. If you missed out on it and you're interested, I would definitely recommend it. It's not just like I got a lot of Isaac memorabilia that I've either been given or purchased that will never actually see a functional use. I'm going to, well, if we're only going to, do we care about Bookworm? I don't think we care about Bookworm that much yet. We're just going to take Satanic Bible. Like, I have a boxed, like, collector's edition CD-ROM of Isaac, like the PC version. I have, you know, a copy of the Switch boxed edition of Rebirth and Afterbirth. They're never gonna leave the box. They're mostly like collector's pieces, right? Which is even like a high-minded way to describe them. I bought them because I liked Isaac, not because like I got no interest. I hope it doesn't seem like I'm making a controversial statement. I'm not gonna play Isaac on the Switch. I have 3,500 hours in this game on PC and climbing. You know, it might surprise you, but rarely do I finish recording a day of Isaac and go, you know what I want to do? Is play more Isaac, but on my TV and also with a controller that I don't normally play the game with. That's my Smash Bros. Time for now, okay? I told you, Mom, I can't come to dinner. I'm trying to get too elite with Donkey Kong and learn tippers. Four Souls is not that. You know, maybe we got it because we're like, oh, it's Isaac merchandise. But then after we played it, I was like, yo, this is like a good game by itself. Also neat to see how, like, you know, I'm not going to say that you have a huge built-in advantage if you're familiar with Isaac items and stuff like that, but it's neat to see how the game mechanics and the focus on, like, synergy work in the board game context. So, dude, it's good. That's my opinion. I'm not a board game reviewer, but my opinion after playing, you know, 5 or 6 hours of it, I guess, is that that's a good game. Very easy to learn as well. Not one of the, it's got like a 1-minute setup and a 1-minute teardown, and learning the rules takes like less than 15 minutes for sure. Okay. How's this run going? It's much better now that we have Satanic Bible. We were making some misplays. We're in an actually, dude, that's just bad. We're in a really, really comfortable spot, which is nice. You know, as in contrast to the last run, we have way less DPS right now, but way more confidence in our ability to survive and succeed. And our DPS is still very good. It's just that our defense itself is way better. So I would take Satanic Bible over, wait, what, any day of the freaking week. But if you disagree, then who knows? Maybe I do underrate it. We're gonna take Seraphim here for a little bit of offensive punch. Now, the thought has crossed my mind that maybe instead of fighting this angel statue, we just teleport out, but where's the fun in that, right? I like a Mega Satan fight. Moreover, I think you can... Not super happy with that. I think you can spin a Mega Satan fight as a good thing for survival. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean it. Why not? Not having to do the entire floor on the chest, it's an advantage. Now, whether or not you'd be better off doing the whole floor and fighting an easier boss versus, you know, fighting a harder boss right away, it depends on a variety of factors, your luck stat, the HP you have when you come down. Do you have empty heart containers that could stand to be filled up by a Gimpy or a little Chad or something like that? Bet if he could rename that item, he probably would at this point. Anyway, the name Chad is taken on a different context as the internet has reached a new age. Regardless, you know, we're in a, you know, it's a dynamic creature, I suppose. Baby, you gotta roll with the punches. So anyway, that's my review of Four Souls. First off, I am not a critic, but I think it would be fun to play on the show. What's also cool about it is that you make a lot of decisions. Like, I don't know about you guys, I'm an impatient person, and that probably will not surprise you. I've been working on it, and you know, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of taking very deep breaths and just going, hey, it's okay, you can wait another 20 seconds. You know, this, you might have to deal with a slow person like for 45 seconds, and that sucks, but they gotta live it their whole life. So, you know, have some sympathy. You get the idea. But in board games especially, I respect other people's time, and I try to take my turns. I want to do everything that needs to be done on my turn, but not take time that other people could be using to do it themselves. You know what I mean? Because, like, the most fun you have in a board game, for the most part, is doing things on your turn. Maybe there's exceptions, but you know how, like, some people you can tell in conversation, they're just waiting for their turn to talk? That's like me in Magic the Gathering, except I think it's also like everybody in Magic the Gathering. Is that, like, you know, on your turn, you're like, this game's great. And then on your enemy's turn, or when they interrupt your turn with an instant or something like that, you're like, yeah, get on with it. I gotta get my wombo combo out. Get on with it. Dude, I got some cool stuff to do. Get on with it. So I try to take my turns as quickly as possible. But, you know, for Souls, people do a lot of things on their turns, but the decisions are relatively quick to make in the first place, and then secondarily, you can almost always do something on their turn as well. You're acting, like, all the time. So, it's not like, I'm trying to think of, like, a counter example. An example of another game that's very good about that, and I know it's maybe looked down upon by board game hipsters a little bit. I still think it's respected, but a good example, I think, is Catan, where, you know, for the most part, the average person's turn is, like, under a minute long. I think. You know, you roll the dice, you get your materials, you decide if you want to trade, negotiations take place, you buy something, and then you're good to go, you know? There's some games where, like, you know, you take, especially if you take turns quickly, like I tend to, which leaves me mistake prone. You know, and then you take 45 seconds for your turn, you had it all planned out in your head. The next person that goes takes like 6 minutes, and you're like, dude, really? Like, I didn't realize that we were at the World Championships for this. Like, you should endeavor to play the best as possible, but also recognize we're here for, like, leisure time. And I deliberately said leisure like that in order to make myself even less relatable and come across as the bad guy in that bit. So, we cannot lose this run now, functionally. Satanic Bible plus Epic Fetus, it won't let you lose a run. It's too good. So what are we going to do? Well, I was hoping to find the item room and then bounce, and, you know, it's our choice, I guess, if we want to do the 5 room and do things over. The only downside is that we'd lose out on boss rush, and then, of course, we'd have to do, like, the whole floor all over again, but that might not be that big of a negative. The thing that has me not wanting to do it is the existence of these curses. I totally forgot we had a Holy Mantle as well, which, you know, continues to make things even easier. So, you know, I'm much more likely to skip that interesting sort of emergent gameplay in the game when, for no reason, it also has me walking around for, you know, 6 or 7 minutes here trying to figure out where the heck the item room is. I guess I just have to remind myself. The only thing that's changed is my perception. I would still be looking for the item room. In this situation, I would just have a map that would let me know if I was closer or further away from it. Or if I'd been to this area before, and etc., etc. Anyway. I would, if you're like me, like, the biggest pet peeves I have with board games for the most part, and this precludes me from really enjoying a lot of great games, I'm sure. You know, about the most complexity I'm willing to interface with is, like, Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, or Betrayal at House on Haunted Hill, or whatever the heck it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Commonly shortened to Betrayal, you know? There's a phase in that game where somebody goes into another room and learns a bespoke set of rules for like, 15 minutes on their own, that's about as much as I'm willing to do. If you ever reach a point of like, you're talking and you're like, okay, let's come back in an hour and give our decision, I'm not willing to go there. But if you like fast setup and fast teardown and very quick to learn and very quick to teach other people, lots of replayability, like Four Souls, Chef's Kiss is very good. I was surprised. I went in not thinking it would be bad, but hesitant and thinking like, maybe this is just a product for, Isaac fanboys, or at the very least a game that would benefit from having some knowledge of the source material. I actually believe that that's not necessarily the case. Now, it doesn't hurt, because, to some extent you can sort of guess what the items will do, or at least, how they would work together. What's wrong with my head? It's very strange. Why am I pulsing? And why is my hitbox all weird? Is there a vanity? I don't like this. Sorry, dude. Bro, you don't want to do that out in the slopes, man. You'll get cliffed out down in Khyber Pass. Is this normal? I'm actually trying to figure out why my body is like swelling here. I don't have a good answer. I don't know, for a second I thought it was related to the pajamas, but oh well. If you can find yourself enamored with a mystery like that, that means your run is probably going just freaking fine, right? Anyway, now, we're exiting the arc of arcs for a bit. We had Java arc, hockey arc, plus parents arc, and, it hasn't really felt like my 2019 has started because I've been, we had a lot of stuff on the go. Not busy, but again, it's like good busy, like leisure busy. Also busy, but, now I really feel like we've started the year. I'm looking forward to it, I don't want to get into another bit about, age. I think I mind that well too often, too frequently. But I feel like I'm growing into my 30s nice. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm making responsible decisions for the most part. Working hard, passionate about my job. I know it's silly. Well, the job itself is silly. To be passionate about it is not silly. Like, even if you're like, a clown at a birthday party, I think that's cool. If you think that it's cool. If that's what you like is entertaining, why? No, you know what? No, I'm not going to fight you. We have no reason to be here. We already have the key pieces. Like, being passionate about something is cool. And being unashamed about what you're passionate about is also cool. Whoop! And that was interesting about being up in Whistler. But I don't have, like, a baby boomer opinion about this, by the way. Like, I am definitely not one of those people who, like, if the cashier at Walmart doesn't say, like, you're welcome or thank you to me, I'm not like, whoa, what's the world coming to? I'm like, I imagine, I haven't really worked retail, but I worked at Goodwill for a while that had kind of the same sort of use case, right? I tell this story many times. There were other bad stories about working at Goodwill. People would literally just, and I don't understand, this is how you realize that a lot of people live their lives just lying to themselves on a daily basis. People would literally drop off bags of trash at Goodwill. And I think I can only come up with like one use case for how that happened. And that's like someone in their house was like, hey, pack up your stuff and take it to Goodwill. And they literally just packed trash and then dropped it off at Goodwill. And we're like, well, they'll sort it out and recycle, what they can. That's not how it works. We get I say we, I haven't worked there in like, 12 years. But, you get a bag of, it smells like urine and there's a bunch of clothes in it. You throw them all out because you peed on them, bro. Hold on, 1 second. Come on. Hello, my son. Are you okay? I know, we're home. Are you excited? Tomo. Hello, Tomo. Hello, Tomo. Alright, I'm back. I was just making sure my boy's okay. Right, Tomo? No more meows for me? Maybe not. Like, why not? It's not like I'm mad at you for having garbage. Everybody makes garbage. Just don't drop it off at Goodwill just because it's in, you know, a bag. And they'll be like, yeah, you know, I was making like literally like $8.25 Canadian an hour. And my job is to sort through the stuff that other people were too lazy to sort through. My boy, hello. Why does my son make these noises? Anyway, all I'm getting at is, you know, sometimes you'll see, and, you know, I'm not going to get any deeper into it than this, I guess, but you'll see on Twitter, it'll be like, it's at Walmart, Canada. I was at your Curtis, BC location, and I said, you know, I said thank you to the cashier, and the cashier did not say you're welcome. I'm going to take my business elsewhere. I'm going to find another store that has bananas for 80 cents a bunch. Because I was very slightly perceiving myself to be disrespected for no... You know, you get the idea. I'm in solidarity. You know, when we were in Whistler. And, you know, this is going to sound like it's from a culturally insensitive position. It's not. It's like 80% Australians up there. When we'd be served at a Starbucks by kind of like a surly Australian dude. I'm like, I get it. This guy didn't come to Whistler because he's passionate about being a Starbucks barista. Barrister? Is that a... I don't know if that's one that changes for the masculine and the feminine. But anyway, you know, he came to Whistler and he's working to be able to pay for him to also ski during the off hours. I get that. But it is cool to be passionate. It might not be cool for your coworkers. Like, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. If you're like, you know, a high school student working at Cold Stone Creamery, and you got somebody who's like, they got the whole songbook memorized. Like, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Thank you for the tip. I'd like to. Thank you for the tip. Yes, that was intended to be the Mario song. Oh, thank you for the tipping. Oh, thank you for... You get the idea. I'm just saying, the start of a new year is daunting, but also very nice, you know, and it feels like I'm finally... I mean, it's the second week of January. It's about time to get started, but you know, I got the space for new things now. You know, holidays went on longer than usual. They're over. Sad to see them go, but I love to watch them leave. What's that supposed to mean? I don't know. Sometimes I just say it, and then I ask permission later. Dude, any place that makes you sing for your tips, that's... I mean, if you like to sing, I guess you could see it as a perk and a positive to the job. Makes me very uncomfortable. There's two different kinds of people for sure. I mean, in any issue, there's two different kinds of people if you phrase it in such a way that there's, you know, there's an X case and then literally like the opposite of that. I think there's people that like being waited on and pampered and doted upon, for example. And then I think that there are people who hate it, and I'm definitely one of the people who is not such a big fan of it. I find it very uncomfortable to be waited upon. Like when we were in Whistler, we ate at a nice steakhouse, and we were like we had like 5 or 6 members of the staff come to our table, and one of our friends that was there was explaining, you know, because I had asked. Like, why do we have, like, one guy that comes over, and he's got, like, all these, he was really good. He had all these pre-rehearsed jokes, and I'm sure he tells them to all the tables, but it makes you feel, you know, you laugh, and you feel like, you know, he's happy to be there, he's got a smile on his face. And then you got these other people that come around, and they're dressed differently, and they just kind of, like, they refill your water glass and don't look you in the eye. And I was like, what's up with that? And she's like, oh, well, you know, when you're at a nice restaurant, sometimes there's like the guy that comes around and talks to you is like the table manager. He's kind of like a head waiter, and then he has like 4 or 5 people under him that are the runners for the tables, and you know, they go around, they refill your water, but they're not supposed to talk to you. You can order through them if you want, but they're not. It's like they're not supposed to speak unless spoken to. And I was like, man, this is weird. I came here because I wanted to spend way too much money to eat a dish that I will never cook myself because of the time investment involved, aka beef Wellington. Which was delicious, by the way, thank you for asking. I didn't come here to engage in this caste system to which I was unawares upon making the reservation. I didn't realize there's a whole song and dance and, a system by which there's no speaking unless spoken to. It freaks me out, man. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like, when the people come over and they refill the water dish, I'm like, psst, we can get you out of here. Can you please let me progress on this floor? I beg you. But still, I was like, I don't know. I find it strange that some people would pay extra for that. I guess it feels nice. I have heard that it feels nice. But it doesn't feel nice for me for whatever reason. Not necessarily because I'm such a good guy or whatever. Different strokes for different folks, but I prefer the opposite. I like a restaurant where, the waiter acts like they're above me and like it's a real waste of their time. Like whenever I take there's a couple of places in Vancouver that do it. One of them is called Elbow Room. I've never been, but I've been to one like that in Seattle where basically you just go and mercilessly get mocked the whole time. And I was like, dude, I don't know what it says about me, man. But, like, when I'm eating and I'm like, I'm like, well, instead of fries, can I get a garden salad? And they're like, yeah, sure, looks like you need it, buddy. And, like, for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Instead, I get a little bit uncomfortable. I still roll with it, of course, because I'm an adult, but I get a little bit uncomfortable when I go to a place and they're like, how are your first few sips of Whistler Glacier water, sir? And I'm like, it's good. 1 oxygen, 2 hydrogen. My favorite possible configuration of those 2 atoms. I'm a huge fan of 2H10. I think that, for my money, if you're making a water recipe, 2 parts hydrogen to 1 part oxygen is really like the optimum sort of ratio that you want to go with. What you definitely don't want to do is throw in another, 3 oxygen atoms and then 1 sulfur. You end up with a glass of water that's way too spicy. Never order yourself H2SO4. You're going to be disappointed, and I promise you that. I have to level with you. I don't know what our HP is like right now. And that's got me all shook up. But we do have Holy Mantle. We got great damage, Epic Fetus. We should be good to go against Magus Satan here. 2 bombs per phase. It's like 2 1/3 maybe, because you got to factor in the fire damage from hot bombs, I suppose. Anyway, I hope that never changes, We did have some, some bad service, though, I'll admit. Like, there was one place we went to, and it took us, like, 20 minutes to even be talked to when we went into the restaurant, and there was nobody else in there, and we're like, what's up with this? That sucked. But, I don't think the antithesis of bad service is, being doted upon by your own personal butler. I think it's, like, just prompt. It's like, what I'm saying is my ideal restaurant is one where you would go in, and they'd be like, hey, Q-Ball, what do you have? And you'll be like, oh, the beef Wellington, please. And they're like, all right, coming right up. And 6 seconds later, be 1 beef Wellington. How much will that be? Ooh, $800, Mr. Moneybags. Oh, delightful. Here you go. I'm freaking, dude. We must have had full HP. So now I'm not freaking. The reason I say that is because we've had Satanic Bible for 10 years. And if anything, it's a great sign that we don't know our HP. I know that seems backwards. But if we knew our HP, that would probably indicate that we need to know our HP, which would indicate that, you know, times are tough. I would rather beef Wellington be cheap, but here's the thing, it's not. I've only had it twice my entire life. Once was in celebration with my friend and colleague Cobalt Streak after he got second in Champions of Fire 1. The other time was a birthday dinner for my wife. It's a special occasion food. And it's good, I gotta say. There's some, you know, like fancy bougie foods that I'm like, this isn't worth. Like, you know, if you like it, you like it. I'm not really a foie gras kind of guy. Even absent the, you know, valid, gross plus animal cruelty angle. You know, whenever I've had it, I've been like, man, this is not worth the... It's not worth the cost to the goose, and it's not worth the cost to me on a fiduciary level. I can get down with that beef Wellington. 37 wins in a row, and successfully we've ambled our way through another day of Isaac. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and also follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. Be notified I want to go live in the future. It's always, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya!